It is now 7 p.m. I want to just say hi to everyone. I see some new faces in the audience and some familiar ones. And so welcome to our Eastpointe regular meeting, our city council meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. And we always start our meeting with the invocation. We always want to make sure we put God in front of anything that we do, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. So I ask everyone to stand and join us. Usually we do our invocation with our Mayor Pro Tem, but we have a guest this evening. If you would like to stand up, Mr. Dan Zander. He's been a long-time resident here and also does a lot with the school. So we welcome you and thank you for taking time out to do this tonight.
Let us pray. Dear God, I ask you to be with us as a city council meeting tonight. Let it go smoothly and smoothly. Let this be a good time tonight. In Jesus Christ we pray.
Read the Irish American History Month, and then I'm going to let our Mayor Pro Tem read the National Women's History Month, and then I'm going to let our Councilman Baker read Across America Day, because he always have a word of the day. So that lets me know he reads more than most of us, and he's very unique. So, and we're going to go along with that and let you guys go ahead and read those.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Thank you, Mayor. You hear me all right? Yes? Okay. I am honored to read this because I can think about my ancestors back in Limerick, of my blood brothers and sisters over there. So the City of Eastpointe Proclamation, Irish American Heritage Month, March of 2022. Whereas by 1776, nearly 300,000 Irish nationals had migrated to the American colonies and played a crucial role in America's War of Independence. And whereas Irish American helped to fashion a system of government for our young nation. And whereas in 1792, Irish-born James Holden provided an architectural plan for the White House and served as one of the supervising architects for the construction of the Capitol. And whereas on September 2002, Irish-born Commodore John Perry was recognized by the United States Congress as the first flag officer of the United States Navy and fought the last sea battle of the American Revolution off the coast of Florida. And whereas in 1813, Captain Oliver Perry, an Irish American, achieved a major naval victory in the Battle of Lake Erie. And whereas in 1942, 5 Sullivan brothers made the ultimate sacrifice for democracy and freedom during the naval battle of Guadalcanal, and later had the destroyer USS Sullivan commissioned in their memory. And whereas the Irish first came to Spanish Law, Florida in the 1500s, first as missionaries and mercenary soldiers, and then as planters, traders, business people, doctors, and administrators. And whereas Richard Arthur and life-born priest from Limerick, a pure parish priest of St. Augustine in 1597, and was a judge of La Forest, established the first public school in America and opened it to both boys and girls of all races. And whereas Irish Americans since American inception have provided and continue to provide leadership and service to the nation's political, business, and religious establishments. And whereas it is fitting and proper to celebrate the rich culture heritage and many valuable contributions of Irish Americans. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Eastpointe, do hereby proclaim March 2022 as Irish American Heritage Month and encourage residents to honor and observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Proclaimed this 22nd day of March 2022. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you for reading that. Then we have our National Women's History Month. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The City of Eastpointe Proclamation, National Women's History Month, March 2022. Whereas the City of Eastpointe recognizes the month of March as Women's History Month. Established in 1987 by Congress to celebrate the contributions American women have made to to strengthen and lead the nation since its inception. And whereas Women's History Month honors women of every race, status, and ethnicity who have challenged the social and legal structures that have kept women's labor underappreciated and underrepresented throughout history to establish an equal role for women, ensuring the appreciation and value of equitable labor and for future generations. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also at the forefront of every major progressive social change movement in history, paving the way for future generations to enjoy the unalienable rights, duties, and responsibilities afforded equally to all citizens of the United States of America. And whereas each woman is extraordinary in her own way, proving that women working inside the home or outside in academia, science, technology, business, labor, governance, and more maintain a crucial role in every sphere of society. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Eastpointe, do hereby recognize the month of March 2022 as Women's History Month to honor women everywhere for their outstanding achievements and invaluable contributions to society. Proclaim this 22nd day of March 2022.
Awesome, thank you for that. Councilman Baker?
All right, this is City of Eastpointe proclamation. Read Across America Day, March 2nd, 2022. Well, I guess today's the 22nd. Whereas Read Across America Day provides an opportunity to support efforts to excite children about reading and to educate families about the importance of literacy. And whereas each American child deserves the opportunity to solve the puzzles of mystery novels, to discover the beauty of poetry, to imagine the fantastical worlds of science fiction, and to explore their own world through books about nature and foreign lands, and the tools they will need for success. And whereas reading provides unending enjoyment and helps unlock a child's creative potential, students must read well to meet high standards in the classroom. Understanding science, mathematics, and the arts requires the ability to read proficiently. Beyond the schoolyard, our youth must be prepared to meet the demands of the global economy. New technologies and steep competition abroad require our nation to focus on children's reading skills as a building block for future personal achievements. And whereas families must play an active role in this effort, being encouraged to read to their children for at least 30 minutes, recognize the critical importance of literacy for their children's future, and develop habits at home that encourage reading. And whereas on Read Across America Day, the United States has partnered with the National Education Association, marking the birthday of Theodore Geisel, whose beloved Dr. Seuss books continue to inspire children throughout the world to read. Now, therefore, we, the City Council for the City of Eastpointe, do hereby proclaim March, it says March 2nd here, but 2022 as Read Across America Day, and encourage children, families, educators, librarians, public officials, and all the people of the City of Eastpointe to observe this day with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Proclaim this 22nd day of March 2022.
Thank you all for reading those. We're gonna go right along and go to roll call.
Councilmember Baker,
Here.
Councilmember Curley,
Here.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Here.
Councilmember Lucido,
Here.
Mayor Owens.
Here. Next is the approval of the agenda. At this time, we'd like to add, subtract. If not, let's move right along.
Madam Mayor, our motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
The next item is the hearing of the public. At this time, we invite you all to hear your concerns, your ideas. At this time, you get 3 minutes. You can say your name, your address at the podium, and I'll time you. And when you're done, have 30 seconds left, not 30 minutes. When you have 30 seconds left, I'll let you know, and you can start, summing it up. So at this time, the first hearing of the public is now closed. I mean, I'm just everywhere today. That's why I got to drink my coffee. So I opened it, then I closed it, right? So the hearing of the public is now open. So please, anyone that'd like to step up and speak, you're welcome to.
Good evening, council. It's been a tough month waiting to get here to say this. And I speak to you as one whole body. We've got to do something about the lack of respect. And I have to tell you, I'm not impressed by titles. I'm impressed by the character of people. And until we learn to do something about that, we have a problem in this city. It is difficult for me to attempt to respect someone who consistently lies and accuses people of doing things they have not done. And as a taxpayer, I have to say, I expect every council member in here to think wisely and considerately of every dime spent. As a taxpayer, I don't like squandering money. I don't do it on a personal level. And I don't think any taxpayer's money should be squandered. So we have to do that. As a member of this community, we have to do certain things. Rumors of courts, lawsuits, be very careful when you're planning or talking about suing someone that you have the evidence to support what you say. Because countersuits can be very expensive and non-productive. We have to live in this community. We have to find a way to get along. I encourage you all to think seriously about the ramifications of actions and the importance of words. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Anyone else at this time?
Good evening to the panel and everyone. I hope y'all don't mind me reading this from here.
Can you tell us your name, please?
My name is Miss Alice. I have been a resident of Juliana Street for some years now. I like living in Eastpointe. Everyone on my block take a lot of pride in keeping up their property, and as I see, they are homeowners. I love sitting on my porch. I am retired, have been retired over 10 years now. And I love looking at the beautiful flowers that me and my neighborhood and us keep up every summer. But my concern is this, Miss Mayor. I met you twice, once at Fresh Choice Market. You was passing out face masks.
Excuse me, ma'am. You can't address each of us. You have to,
Oh,
we're a
well,
body.
everybody. Well.
If you wanna address me, you can email me. But you have to address us as a
Well, let
full
me-
body.
Okay, I didn't know all that, so thank you. I didn't mean to be out of order.
No, you're fine. I was just saying, if you want to.
Okay, well, let me jump on down then.
Okay.
But now I have a concern about the old Kmart building that is sitting down the street from where I live. It's a nasty mess, totally nasty mess, and it's getting worse. I have been out there trying to clean it sometime, but I can't do it alone. Evidently, there's nobody in the old Kmart building doing any kind of business now because of whatever they might have up and left. But it's horrible now. When you come into my neighborhood or anybody come to visit us, they say, what's going on with that building now? And we can't say anything. So I'm asking you, please, can I get some kind of answer what can be going on now? Because right now, if you go down our street and look at that building, it's a hot mess. We don't know where all that trash is coming from. So I'm asking you, can you please at least address that for me, please? So I can go back, because I don't have but one, so I should have had enough for everybody on the concern.
Yeah, our city manager will take it from you. You want it back? I mean, she can make a
No, I
copy.
don't need it
or-
back.
Okay. I don't want to stop your time if you have more to say.
Okay, no, that's it, but I'm just saying, do you know when I can get some kind of answer? Because it seems like I'm the only one on my block that really is concerned, because there's a lot of seniors on my block. and I know they may not be coming out often. So,
Usually after, closer to the end of the meeting, we'll respond to some of the things you said. And also, you just gave it to our city manager, so we can also address it by email as well. Is your information on there that she can contact you?
no, but I can't.
Do you feel comfortable with that? Okay.
But again, I didn't mean to disrespect
You
you.
didn't
because
disrespect.
I don't know, I haven't been to a meeting in I don't know many years, so I didn't mean to disrespect anyone.
Oh, you didn't disrespect. Sometimes people might address him and then it might be out of order and say, yeah.
All right, thank you,
But thank you. Don't leave.
thank you.
Don't leave.
I won't leave.
Okay, thank you for coming. Good seeing you.
Hi, I'm Cindy Federley, a longtime Eastpointe resident. I have a few comments I'd like to make. I'd like to talk about comments made at the last city council meeting. Reference was made to showing respect by addressing people by their titles. First of all, respect is earned. A title such as doctor or sergeant is a job. I worked with physicians for many years. We were on a first-name basis. I have family members that are physicians. They don't want to be called by doctor. They are a Mr. or Mrs. on envelopes addressed to them. We're on a first-name basis because it's a sign of camaraderie and being part of a team. The only time titles were used at work is when we were dealing or performing our jobs. So demanding use of a title, especially in a social setting, simply feeds an ego. There was also mention by the mayor about the tragedies happening in Ukraine and the disrespect being shown in our city with protests. First of all, I'm offended that an elected member of our city would
I just
ever-
asked her, do not address.
I'm not
a
addressing
council.
you. I'm
You did, you
addressing
said my
comments that
name.
were made.
If you don't want to do it right, and I just asked her and she did it respectfully, I'm going to do you the same way. So don't address me personally. If you have something to say to me personally, that's my office and you can email me. But I will not
I am not
have
addressing you
disrespect.
personally.
You are, because everybody knows who you're talking about. So it's
This
disrespect.
is comments at a meeting.
Don't say mayor. Say council or body. How does that sound? Okay.
A person in the body of city council talked about disrespect being shown with protests. An elected member of our city should never question our constitutional rights to free speech and peaceful protest. One of the reasons Russia is able to do what they are doing is because the citizens don't have those rights. Please don't confuse criticism with disrespect. It's voicing our opinions. I'd also like to comment on the agenda item requesting memberships for the mayor in the United States Conference of Mayors, the Mayor's Innovation Organization, and the African American Conference of Mayors. Eastpointe's charter mandates a weak mayoral system. Joining these groups will not improve the management of our city. These groups appear to benefit larger cities with a strong mayoral system. A strong mayor has executive powers like a governor or a president. A weak mayor has limited power. So spending nearly $7,000 for someone with limited power seems wasteful. Those are my opinions. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your opinions. That's what this is all for. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I just have a concern from last city council meeting, and it goes on the respect and addressing particular people. And you are correct. The body should not have any citizen or resident address a particular person of the council. At the last meeting, I was appalled to listen to a resident address a particular person and a spouse, and it's bothered me ever since. And I would like everyone to have the same respect. If they can't address one person, they address no one, and they should be cut off just as easily as anybody else. Respect is what we all want to earn, and we should all be given it. And can we move along on the food trucks, too? We got a cruise coming up. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak?
Hello, my name is Clifford Hammonds, and I've been a resident of Eastpointe for over 20 years. And this is the first time I've ever been to a council meeting. But I just want to say, I live on Juliana Avenue, 16165, that's my address. but my street is like holding water. Like when it rains, the people driveways is like almost like a mosquito den almost. And I just want to know, can we get some help, please? That's pretty much what I have to say.
Okay. Can you leave your address information with the city manager over there?
Okay.
We can look more into it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming to your first meeting. You've been here 20-something years, so.
My family bought car, we own 3 houses on that block, and my family bought car on hers.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Anyone else would like to speak at this time?
Good evening, Mayor and the council members. My concern is when they clean the streets, could they put signs out to let you know so you can get your cars off the street? Like it's, every time they come by and clean the streets, I'm running out trying to move the car off the street so they can sweep right down to the curb. Could you please see, can they get signs set out when they're gonna do certain blocks? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? Going once, going twice? And if you like to speak at the end of the meeting, you have an additional 3 minutes. So, saying none, the first hearing of the public is now closed. I want to thank you to everyone that got up and spoke. And we're going to the approval of the minutes.
Madam Mayor, I would move that we would receive and file the minutes of the regular meeting on March 1st, 2022.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
The next item is the scheduled hearings for the Recreation Authority of Roseville and Eastpointe Rear, amendments to Articles of Incorporation. At this time, I know we have one of the Rare board members. You can stand up there if you want. You don't have to, just in case anybody have any questions or you want to speak on it. Anyone have any questions?
We actually, Mayor, we have an agenda item for it as well. So this section would just be if there's anyone in the public, and then we move into it in the new business for you.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions, concerns? We have a representative from Rare in the audience that can answer some of those questions. Okay, we don't have any, so we can move right along. Scheduled hearings is now closed for the Rare amendments. And we can go to, we have no unfinished business. So we can go straight to reports from administration with our city manager, Mariah Walton. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First, we want to welcome Mr. Trombley. He is a new firefighter paramedic over at our fire department. He's also an Eastpointe native, so we welcomed him last week. It's very exciting to have a Eastpointe resident join our team. We also got free N95 masks from Macomb County, so we have those here at the clerk's office, the finance desk, the city managers, and then also at the library, so any resident can pick those up. And have, I think they come in packs of 10, so they packs of 10 of the N95 masks. Rare is having a blood drive, April 13th, from 1 to 5. I shared with Councilmember Lucido, I'm gonna go for my first time, and anyone else is welcome to join me. I know, especially after the pandemic and during the pandemic, the blood drives really weren't occurring, so it's really important to really give back, especially in this time. And then I just wanted to remind the community about the 2 grants that are out. One is the Growing Michigan Grant for local businesses. That is open through March 31st. That is on our website, the resources to apply, the portal to actually apply for it through the state. And then the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund, that is still open as well, and that can assist with any delinquent mortgages, taxes, and utilities. And so both of those resources are on our website, and we've also been sharing those. And if there's any questions, you can always touch base with us in the manager's office, and we can supply that. That is the end of my report, but if you have any other questions, I can answer those.
Thank you. Any questions for our city manager? Seeing none, moving right along to our finance director, Mr. Blum. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. The only item I have tonight is I wanted to highlight House Bill 5054. It passed the House on March 1st and is waiting for Senate action. It is a bill that would create, it's $1.5 billion that the state would set aside for pension funding. 900 million of that would be for communities with pension funding less than 60%, of which we are. And if this were to pass, the city could apply for a grant. There would be some strings attached, but I've reviewed them and they're not very onerous. And so if you know any Senate people, I would encourage you to encourage them to move this bill through, and that would help us out on our pension side. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, sir. Any questions?
Just maybe one comment.
Yes, sir.
Well, our state senator was a local official, so I hope that weighs on him. But that was definitely a huge topic at the Departmental conference. They
Okay,
talked
good.
about that, so hopefully lots of people are reaching out.
And hopefully, when we get to council reports, you can tell us a little bit about your experience and what you learned, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Any more questions for Mr. Blum at this time? All right, seeing none, we're going straight to our city attorney, Mr. Albright. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of council. Just two items this evening. The first is regarding the bird scooters. The city's one step closer to having electric scooters in the city. City administration is scheduled for a Zoom call this Thursday with a representative from Bird Scooters regarding a launch call and to establish when those scooters will be up and running in the city. So city administration will provide additional details after we have that call. And I also wanted to address the residents' concern about the old Kmart building at 20880 Gratiot. That has been a problem for quite some time. Last Thursday, the property owner signed a consent agreement that our office had prepared, and they are to, they have 14 days to clean up all of the litter and remove all of the graffiti from the entire building and also secure the premises. Within 30 days from last Thursday, they are also required to bring the property up to minimum vacant property standards. If they fail to meet any of those deadlines, the city will have the right to enter upon the property, remove graffiti, clean up any garbage, clean up any debris, and then bill the property owner. If the property owner fails to pay the bill, those charges will become a lien on the property. And so that was entered into by the city last week, Thursday. That agreement has been recorded with the Register of Deeds, so anybody purchasing that property will see a copy of this consent agreement in the chain of title. And that's all I have, Madam Mayor, members of council. I have to answer any questions.
I have a quick question. You said so they got what? That's 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks from last Thursday
Okay.
to clean up all junk, debris, remove the graffiti from the building, and also to secure the premises. It's a vacant building right now, and it's been open to trespass.
I guess my real question is, what's the deciding factor on how long, why didn't you give them a week? Why is so long? So we got to live with an extra week, 2 weeks of trash. That's what I'm saying. What was your deciding factor?
That was a time frame that was established by city administration.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, hopefully, the property owner cleans up everything prior to, but once those 14 days have expired, then the city will have the right to come onto the property and clean up any additional debris, garbage, and remove any graffiti that appears on the building. The hope is to get the property occupied with some type of commercial activity, but in the meantime, the city is looking out for the residents to make sure that it remains free from graffiti, because it, in its current state right now, looks absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
The lady mentioning that it was a hot mess, she was actually being kind.
Yes.
We thank you for being on top of that.
Yeah, I would like to see the administrative part, because 2 weeks is a long time to have trash just sitting in our city. So it starts flying in other areas and things like that. So I want to revisit that when we get a chance. Any other questions for our attorney? None at this time. Moving right along to new business. Item A, the approval of articles of incorporation for RARE. Council, any discussion?
Madam Mayor, if I could, just two quick things.
Yes, sir.
Just two quick grammatical changes, and Mr. Kleinfeld reached out to Roseville also, because they happen to have a meeting tonight, since our meeting was on an off week. just in the, well, actually, it's in front of you here. He left a copy. Thank you, Mr. Kleinfeld.
Thank you.
Just small changes where it says fifth board would be fifth board member. It's just missing the word member. And then by the legislative bodies of the participating municipalities, so just of instead of by. But that is all. Other than that, I'm in favor of the changes.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the Articles of Incorporation for Rare as presented with the updated copy that Mr. Kleinfeld provided to council this evening.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Item B, discussion on vacating the alley. I believe this was put on by our Councilwoman Lucido. You have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So I do have a quick question. So this, the owner of this building asked for city council to vacate this alley. Do we need to make a motion to vacate the alley, or is there a step that should happen before?
Thank you. I can address that. Councilmember Lucido, the process is actually covered both in the city's ordinances and in the city charter. If there are at least 3 council members that wish to vacate this particular piece of property based on this request by the adjacent property owner, that can happen. It would be put in the form of a resolution. In the meantime, what our office would do is reach out to both the city planner and the city engineer to make sure that there weren't any issues with utilities and any other easements in that area. The resolution could come before the council at the next council meeting, and what would happen in that resolution, it would indicate the council wishes to, or the city wishes to vacate that particular strip of property or that alley, and then a public hearing would need to be set for a minimum 4 weeks out. It would give the opportunity for any adjacent property owners to voice their concerns about whether the alley should or should not be vacated, and at that point, the alley could be vacated. So that's the process in a nutshell.
All right, thank you, Mr. Albright. So yeah, I did visit this property. I went and I took a few pictures that are included in here. The alley doesn't go straight through, so it's really only utilized by that building. So I don't see any issue with, moving forward with asking the city attorney to work on a resolution to vacate the alley. I don't know how everyone else feels.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, just so the audience knows what we're talking about, and sometimes you'd like to know what we're talking about up here. This is the building, the Eastland Women's Clinic on 8 Mile Road, and the alley comes off of Universal. So to get into that alley that goes behind that single building, you get to the alley by Universal Street. So just to let you know what we're talking about, okay? Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for the record, the address is 15921 East 8 Mile Road.
Councilman?
Sure, Madam Mayor, if I could, I'll propose a motion then that, we start proceedings to vacate the alley behind Eastland Women's Clinic at 15921 East 8 Mile Road, along with the neighboring properties, the whole block between Universal Avenue and Redmond Avenue.
Now, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
So they will be paying us this amount as far as what, to take over that property, right? Because I'm looking at this fund, or that's the fund that they're gonna cover for the fence. It looks in here that they got some money, $152,000. Was that to cover the funding for the fencing?
Yeah, there are costs involved with this. There are planner fees, engineer fees, and any other costs that are applicable would be borne by the person making the request, who's going to be acquiring this property.
Okay. Did I get support on that?
Yeah, I support it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. Next item is a scheduled parliamentary procedure training. I know Councilman DeMonico, I think he thought this was a benefit, which it is. I don't know if you want to talk more about that, Councilman?
I'm just, if we pick a date, I think would be good. We had previously motioned to do the training. I think we just need to pick a date now, so.
Okay.
Well, we have 3 dates that we can pick from.
Yes, yeah,
that,
there's,
that MML said they could take care of this.
yeah, April 27th, May 12th, or May 25th at 6 PM.
If I may, I would not be available on May 12th, but the 27th and the 25th, I'm open.
Is that going to, they talked about, is that going to be in person or is it going to be on Zoom?
MML recommended that this training actually occur in person. So it'll be an in-person training, not a Zoom.
In person?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward May 25th, council people, at 6 o'clock.
I'm fine with May 25th. Everyone else can do May 25th.
Everybody's shaking their head, yes? Yes?
I think me and Councilman Baker.
My learned
wasn't-
friend from to the left?
Really was in favor of it, so we'll let you all three of you pick. And then if we want to join in, we will.
That's fine.
All right, I'll motion that we do our parliamentary procedure training with MML, May 25th at 6 PM in person.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. The next item is to confirm special meeting for a goal-setting session. Council?
So yeah, it looks like there's a conflict on May 29th, 2022.
Yes.
So I don't know.
April 12th, I think, was maybe the next day we would normally select, if that worked for everybody.
I don't care when we do it, as long as it's not on the council night.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through what we did last time.
April 12th would be between the first and third meetings in April. And I don't think, is there anything else? That would be, it looks like City Hall is available, well, the council chambers are available that day.
I am available on April 12th if everyone else on council is available.
That's fine. Fine with
That's
me.
fine with you.
I'll motion that we have the city council goal session meeting, April 12th at, what time though, I guess?
What is it, 6?
6? All right, at 6 PM.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. The next item is item E, introduction and first reading of ordinance number 22-1220, an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, administration of the ordinance of the City of Eastpointe. Council?
Madam Mayor, I would move to support the first reading, to introduce and give first reading to the ordinance number 22-1220 for an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, administration of the ordinance of the City of Eastpointe.
Support.
Motion and support?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Just had one item, and it's, I added something later in the agenda, but it's relevant to this item. I think instead of, basically my proposal at that point in time, later in the agenda, was to just recommend the city manager make an administrative order for everyone at City Hall for agenda items be due Wednesday, 4:30 PM, and city council still have until Friday at noon like we normally do. And I think that met all the goals that we talked about, like at that last meeting. It gives city administration maximum time then to put the agenda together, and then also gives city council, extra time to get something on the agenda. Like we said, usually, we're sending something in, and it's all the information that's needed to put in the agenda packet, at least at that point in time, if it's something that needs to get in the agenda like that Thursday or Friday. So, I guess basically, I'll be voting no on this, but that was my proposal if anyone, was interested in that.
Madam Mayor, the last council meeting, there was a majority that agreed that we should change the time from Friday at noon where we had a chance to put something on the agenda to Thursday at 2 o'clock to give our administration more time to get the agenda together. This agenda is probably 100, I've got more here, about 110 pages long. And,
225.
Double it.
It's what?
225.
Double that.
200, okay, good. That helps my defense, thank you. 225. And Councilman, I understand what you're saying. And it's hard to change rules when we've had it. But quite honestly, tonight we have a council meeting and we have another council meeting 2 weeks from now. And I can't get it through my mind that us setting up here, if we have something that we want to put on the agenda, we can't think about it and do something about it before Thursday at 2 o'clock before the council meeting. I mean, I can't imagine me sitting there and all of a sudden at Friday at 11 o'clock, geez, oh Pete, we need that on the agenda. So I'm going to stick with the recommendation. We did approve it, and this is the first reading. And then our next council meeting, it will be the second reading. So let's have the roll call and see if it passes or not. It passed, I think, 3-2 last time. So let's see what happens.
Yes, we have, you all are done before I go to calling the roll. Okay, we have motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
No.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Next item is the reappointment to the Board of Ethics. Councilman Curley, I think you had someone there.
I do, thank you. I would move to reappoint Lynn Tubin to the Board of Ethics with a term to expire June 30th, 2024.
Support.
Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Next item, item G, reappointment to the Assessment Board of Review Council.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to reappoint Keith Spiller to the Assessment Board of Review with a term to expire March 15th, 2025.
Support.
Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Mayor Owens.
Yes. Next is the appointment to the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission, ACDC Council.
Yes, Madam Mayor, if I may, really quick, I do have one comment. So this appointment is filling a seat of someone who resigned. So I'm going to change the term to expire on 10/15/2022, and then we can always reappoint at that time, just to
Okay.
fill out that time frame. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll motion to appoint Evelyn Cherson to the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission with a term to expire 10/15/2022.
Support.
Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Mayor Owens.
Yes. Next item, item I, is the appointments to the Beautification Commission Council.
And then, Madam Mayor, just one quick item on the terms for that, too. They both should be 2024. That's all. So then I'll motion we reappoint Paul Colby to expire 10/15/2024. And we're just doing one at a time, maybe.
Support.
Yeah, just do one at a time.
Motion and support. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
And then, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to appoint Kathy Schloss to expire 10/15/2024.
Support.
Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Next item is appointments to the Parks Commission Council.
So yes, Madam Mayor, really quick too. I believe that all of these should expire on 10/15/2024 also.
Okay.
Because in their bylaws, it says no more than three years is the term. So.
Okay, thank you.
So, I will make the motion to appoint Linda Flantz to the Parks Commission with a term to expire on 10/15/2024.
Support.
Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to appoint Folin Williams to the Parks Commission with a term to expire on 10/15/2024.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes.
Say, Mayor Pro Tem, one quick comment about the last term expiration. I think it'll be 3 ending in 22, and now we have 2 in 24, and if this one's 23, we'd have 2 in 23 then.
So this one's 23?
It'd just be more even,
Okay.
I think, and I think that's how we started it, so.
So, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to appoint Alex Stokes to the Parks Commission with a term to expire 10/15/2023.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for that. Going straight to our food trucks in Eastpointe. Council.
Madam Mayor, I'd move that we direct the city attorney to finalize the food truck ordinance and for city administration to implement the food truck permit process.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
I have about 35 or 40 questions.
Oh, Lord. Now, mister, I want to be done in an hour. Go ahead, Councilman.
Take your roast out of the oven. No, I don't have that many questions. One question, this whole document, there's a lot of stuff in here to read, and, we get it Friday afternoon, and when it's 20 or 30 pages, it's tough. It's tough to read that and make a decision. But one question I have is that when we get the food trucks, and maybe it says in here, so help me out here. When a food truck goes through all the stuff that we're going to request them to. Can you hear me all right? Yes? We get this food truck and they want to park in front of the old Big Boy. And there's parking spaces there on the street, on Gratiot, right? So they park horizontal with their opening on the sidewalk. So nobody has to walk around and get on Gratiot to buy their food. It's on the sidewalk. Is that part of the whole paperwork here, or is that something that the administration would have to decide? Is that included in this presentation?
So the lane outside of the Big Boy is actually a turn lane, so there will not be food trucks at that spot. But if there are designated parking spots like on Gratiot, as long as they're within a parking spot, that would be permitted.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Mr.
Another
Curley?
what?
Can I ask a question on top of that?
I would yield I will yield the floor to you.
I thought was in here, and I guess, it'll be clarified once Mr. Albright puts a more specific language together. But if it was in front of a business, you'd need that business's permission, right?
Not if it's in the right of way. So if it would be different, like on a commercial property. So if we take like the UPS store, for example, if you were to pull on Mr. Solomon's property, you would need his permission to park on his property and have a food truck. But if you're in the public right of way, so Gratiot is a state road, you would not need permission from anyone to park on the state road in the parking spot. But if you are on the actual commercial property, you would need their permission.
So then I guess maybe my question is, can we, 'cause I thought maybe an example was in there where, certain example, I guess, would be like someone parking in front of a restaurant, right? Especially of like the same type of food or something. Can we request a certain amount of space or something like that? Maybe not necessarily that it's the parking spot on Gratiot, but a certain space from a business unless you have their permission or something like that?
So that has been adopted in different communities. This is something that we talked about in kind of our subcommittee and focus group that was kind of putting this together. But we don't feel that competition necessarily strays people away. It actually encourages people to kind of come and enjoy an area. And so one of the examples that someone had used was if you were planning to go to Scalapini's, a food truck might not stop you from going and enjoying scallopinis and going inside. And so our recommendation would not be to set any restrictions, because then it's harder to get food trucks to come in and operate, and then it's also enforcement behind that, right? We got to make sure, and who's doing the measuring and who's following up with that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Curley.
Okay, thank you. Our Gratiot Cruise, our 22nd annual Gratiot Cruise, I hope you all come. By the way, council members and Mayor, you get to ride in a VIP parade, okay? I'll select the convertible that you're going to get, by the way. Anyway, so we're going to have food trucks I guess I would address as the city manager. We're going to have food trucks as we do every year. They're not concerned with this document here, because that's on school property, but it's private property.
I believe they've already gone through the process. So there was a process put together with the clerk's office, and I believe all of the vendors that are planning to be at Gratiot Cruise have gone through that process appropriately with the clerk's office.
There's a process that they have to go through. Lastly, Madam Mayor, just a thought. This is something brand new for our city, right? And the reason we're doing this is that we want to get folks to come to our city, right? The food trucks. What do you think about the fact, it says $75 charge here. What do you think about the fact, the first time that people come here, and I said, last time I was over there was East Detroit, so 27 years ago. So what about for the very first time that somebody comes, we don't charge the $75? Is the council choking on that, or the city manager choking on that idea?
Yes.
Yeah, she is choking.
Yeah, I think this, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Councilmember.
I think the $75 is a pretty reasonable fee. There's a lot of communities that charge like $300 for a year permit. 75 is actually on the way lower end on what we're charging. And we do have to have our fire marshal go out there and inspect the truck and city administration, and just the time and effort. I think they're still getting a bargain for $75 because it is good for the whole year.
Yeah.
So I think I'm fine with charging them the 75, even the first time.
And if I can add, Councilmember Curley, we did also add in there that if you do have a current business license, that this would be waived. So if there was, say, a Cloverleaf that had a food truck, this process would be waived for an Eastpointe business that has a business license. We would waive that fee for them to operate a food truck within Eastpointe.
Did I not read something else, that if they had a fee and they were over in Roseville and they came here, there would not be a fee here?
No, they would still need to be registered in Eastpointe. But it is a very reasonable fee. There are other communities that charge $300. Sometimes it's every time you operate within the community. It's over $100 to operate and have a permit every single time. This is $75 for the year.
Councilwoman Lucido, I really wasn't worried about the amount of money. Yeah, I know that other cities. I guess I was just saying, let's go to Eastpointe. It's free. Let's see what it's going to be like. And if it's good, they'll be back the following year. If it's not any good, they're not going to come back. A thought, but so one council person says no, one says yes. What about the other two? No?
No.
Okay. All right. Having been turned down for that, believe it or not, Madam Mayor, I'm going to shut up. Until the next item.
Okay, I believe we have motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Item L, approval of contract extension for planning and zoning professional services. Any conversation on this? If not,
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve contract for planning and zoning professional services with McKenna with a term from July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2025.
Support.
motion and support. Please call. Go ahead.
One quick comment?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Madam Mayor.
That's okay.
I am just, as I have for other votes, just would like us to go out to bid for services, even if we do like the service. And so I'm just going to be voting no because we're doing a no bid extension. And I've done that before. I think we should, just ahead of time, always go out to bid. And if we really like the service, I mean, we'll definitely move forward. And I'm certainly not saying right now I'm unhappy with McKenna. It'd be actually the opposite. So that is all.
Yeah, I understand those sentiments. The only reason I want to go with McKenna because our last building department, they helped us so much. I got a lot of reviews, not only from the businesses, but also the residents. And, so since people are learning the process and they know so much already, but I agree with some of the things you were saying. So we have motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
No.
Next item is the 9-mile strategic corridor plan and adoption of resolution number 22-1938. Council? Any discussion? If not, let's move right along.
I move that we receive and file the 9-mile strategic corridor plan and adopt resolution 22-1938.
Support?
Motion and support, please call the roll.
I have a question, please.
Yes, sir.
I don't know who I've called on, maybe the city manager. Talk to me about the bike lane. Well, let me tell you questions first. I get, where would the bike lane be put? How wide would it be? Is it going to take up the grass part between the sidewalk and the street? Is that where this bike lane's going to be? Or is it going to be on the one of the two lanes, the outside lane, obviously? So tell me the whole story about the bike lane.
So I believe it's an initiative that they've listed in the plan for equitable mobility. And so it's a recommendation for an objective, but I don't know that it specifically states where or is giving any confirmation that the bike lanes will be on 9 Mile. These are recommendations, kind of like the master plan on things that could be efficient. So McKenna does great with studying things that are happening in other communities and then putting a report together over possibilities and opportunities for improvement in Eastpointe. So this plan is really just a recommendation on things that could happen and could be seen in Eastpointe.
But once we put the stamp of approval on this 9 Mile thing, they have the latitude to put the bike lane in?
No, this is not a formal vote on decreasing lanes or adding bike lanes. These are just recommendations on improvements and specifically for bike lanes, mobility throughout Eastpointe. So if you, at a later date, wanted to discuss bike lanes and had a different route, that is certainly something that could be discussed.
When you say a different route, different than 9 Mile Road?
Correct.
So they are thinking about 9 Mile Road?
I believe that's been a conversation for a while, is initially decreasing lanes and adding bike lanes on 9 Mile, but that would have to be to the majority of council to decide. And so if mobility and accessibility looks differently to the majority of council, that's something that could affect this plan, and you would vote on that and make a plan as council.
Thank you.
I believe we have motion and support on that. Did we call the roll on that?
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
No.
The next item in adoption of resolution number 22-1939, notice of intent resolution for water and sewer system revenue bonds, the drinking water state revolving fund project.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll motion to adopt resolution number 22-1939 as presented.
Support?
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. The next item on the agenda is the request for memberships for me as the mayor of Eastpointe. And let me go to that page. I think council had enough time to read over those memberships. Anybody have any questions on these? Or have anybody ever, did you all look up these different memberships? Had time to look them up?
Well, I think a lot of concerns have been addressed in regards to spending the taxpayer dollars for these classes. Also, I know over the previous month or so, we've been talking about budgets and things of that nature. So I think that this is, I wouldn't want to move forward yet on that. I think that the taxpayers, their concerns, we have to weigh those out. But then I think also we want to make sure that we're being financially responsible. And I know that this is an annual cost.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm definitely like the idea that there is opportunities to learn more and grow and receive things, but I think we should be careful with that. So I would feel more comfortable not doing it just yet.
Okay. Anybody else have any concerns or questions? Well,
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I was just going to say, yeah, my biggest concern is the fact that it's just not in our budget at this time, so.
okay. The United States Conference of Mayors, some of you all have the information in your packet, but a lot of these organizations, they're not classes, Councilman Baker. They are memberships for the mayor of each city to help you. We get a lot of grants and things like that. For one, the Mayor's Innovation Organization that I'm actually in was the one that gave us 2 grants last year. One was pushed down by council, the $10,000 health grant initiative that we put together that council didn't vote on. You voted against it. They were actually the ones that granted that $10,000, and it was another one that we just did that the Mayor's Innovation Organization gave us. How much money was that, like 25 or?
$5,000.
They gave us $5,000. So it's a lot of these programs that is excessive money that, that we can get as a community. United States Conference of Mayors is a membership that all the mayors in the United States are joined in, whether they're in an unlimited form. I don't like the word "we" because I don't see any mayors that that are overseeing the city and helping their community as we. So they're all mayors, so I'll just say mayors in general. So all mayors, depending upon each community, whether it's 15,000 in their community or more, they join this and they actually get to know about policy, grants, all type of things for their city. And so I thought this would be excessive money and use for our community. The African American Conference of Mayors talk about a lot of things as well, how to empower leaders, how to empower your community. And again, all these memberships give us grants and excessive money for our community. I think they have one for the police department, they have one for parks and rec and things like that, and they give us up to $50,000, sometimes $200,000. And so that's why I want to be a part of these things, because a lot of people know when you're not a member, you can't apply for these grants. So, and I've seen what, things they've done, and I don't even think we paid for me to be in the Mayor's Innovation Organization, and they still gave us almost $20,000. But I think this time they probably would want, us to be a part of that. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, sir, you didn't. Go ahead, I want to hear you.
No, I'm familiar that they're not classes, but I was reading
Okay.
that it's an annual cost, and that's when we're talking about budgets and things of that nature. That's where I was going with it.
Okay.
So, no, I already know. But,
Well, if I was able to get us $20,000 in grants in 1 year, and you only paid $7,000 for 3 memberships, and one can give you over almost $200,000, make sense.
Well,
So-
I think if I go to all the residents that have reached out and have expressed their concerns, that's something that I have to weigh because it is their taxpayer dollars. So that's also the other big factor. I can't just say, you know what, I know they've expressed their concerns about it, and then just say, yep, the heck with it, so.
Yeah, but you have to, that's why we have these forums, so they can understand where their money is going. So for one membership, if a membership that they didn't pay $1,500 for, and they got $20,000 worth of grants. And now this community is saying, give us $1,500 to be a member. We gave you $20,000, why not join? And then it's 2 other conferences of mayors and that give out money to the community. So possibly in the next budget, I think the councilwoman was talking about, maybe we can see if they can fit our budget, if they get a better understanding. So anything we put on here, I want the community to be more educated on it, because a lot of these memberships and things like that, I only see it or exposed to, so a lot of people don't have an understanding. But these are different ways to get excess money. We get our taxpayers' money, we have money from the county, we have money from the state, and we get additional funding from grants and things like that. And we have to be proactive, and we have to connect with different people from different states and see what other people are getting their money from. And so when we're not part of these memberships, we're limited to education and grants and excessive awards. And so as the mayor of the city, I also reach out to different places outside of the United States to make sure that we are competitive, proactive, and innovative. And when we don't have access and we closed in a box and only getting our resources from only things in Michigan and not outside, we are losing that funding. So I just want to share that with you all.
Do you think one option may be to table it and give residents a chance, if there are any who want to learn more about it or reach out and ask some questions?
Yeah,
Would
absolutely.
you want to do that? I mean, rather than, that way, I don't want to assume that nobody looked it up. I know some people did. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone, but if nothing more, I'd say you can give that an opportunity to, give people an opportunity to reach out and express their concerns.
Yeah. I think these are memberships that no mayor in the city of Eastpointe has ever joined. And so just imagine all the limited all the money that we have missed out on in a number of years from reaching out and being around people. The United States Conference of Mayors just went to Washington, D.C., and spoke to the President of the United States, President Biden. So having that access to speak about things in our community and the things that we want to the President of the United States, that's huge. And also being around the Mayor's Innovation Organization that finds grants in that organization and tells people that are members, that's huge. Some of these grants that all of us don't have access to or know about, these people from different parts of Alabama, Louisiana, Washington, D.C., they bring these memberships and let us know what's going on and how we can gain this money. And if we're not members, we cannot even apply. So if you all want to take some time to look at those things, it's in your packets, and get to know more about different memberships that we can join to better serve you all. That's the things that I do. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, and Councilwoman Lucido was mentioning budget too, so I don't want to take away from what you were suggesting.
No, that's fine. If you guys want to table it, I'm not going to support tabling it because, like I said, this should be a discussion that we're having during budget to increase the mayor's budget to include these activities.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go back to. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, like I said, it's up to you. You guys can make whatever.
Well, when we have,
you want this evening.
And I'm not either. I'm not going to vote to table it.
okay. Well, we can bring it back during budget time, but at that time, you all in the audience can actually look more into joining these memberships. I don't know what council wouldn't support a mayor in their community joining memberships to get their community more money. So that's unheard of. You're going to move right along to the proposal for creation of administrative order. Council?
I think it's safe to say we can skip this.
It's safe to say we can skip it for now. I'm going to bring it back.
Well, real quick, actually, I do have one thing. So, I understand where you were coming from with this, but at the same time, if it would help administration for them to do an administrative work order, still for department heads to have their requests in by 4:30 on Wednesday, so that way then it frees up, Thursday. I would be fine with if our interim city manager, if she thought that would be, helpful to have that deadline for administration at 4:30 on Wednesday.
Well, what do you have now? What's the timeline that you have for the administration for the?
Their deadline is 4:30 on Wednesday, so administration.
Okay, so,
It would make no difference.
you already have an administration rule.
That is
Why
correct.
is the council interfering with that? Are you happy with Wednesday at that time?
Yes.
Okay, then,
No,
case
that's-
closed.
That's fine.
Well, so then we're only limiting ourselves then,
Yes.
right? So,
Well, we already got to approve of first reading. That would be for ourselves, Thursday at 2:00.
right, I'm saying.
And she
so
has a
city
different rule
admin's
for
already
administration.
in writing, I guess, I did not know that, but it was the time that she originally suggested. So only the 5 of us then can add something between Wednesday at, whatever, end of the day, and
Thursday at
Friday at noon, currently Friday at noon, but now it's gonna be backed up,
Thursday at 2, assuming a second reading passes.
Okay, so we're just gonna vote to give us one less day then.
Well, the vote's
Yeah,
already
instead of,
They
instead of
did that already.
14 and a half days, we got 13 and a half days. Makes a big difference.
Well, Mr. Curley, when we have 2 meetings back to back, it does, because it almost gives you no time. If you're like me, where I'm working 9 to 5, if we have 2 meetings Tuesdays in a row, if it was Wednesday at the end of the day, we have our Tuesday meeting, the deadline is Wednesday before I'm off work. I literally have no time, if there was something we talked about at that meeting, to put something on the agenda. I'd have to do it in the middle of my work day. Otherwise, I usually have Wednesday and Thursday evening. In a normal scenario, sure, it's, one less day is what we're talking about now. But, usually we gotta think about things for more than a little bit of time, so.
Okay, moving right along on this one as well. Item Q is the approval to post pictures and relative text of Habitat's array to city social media and website. This was up there, put on by Councilman DeMonico. Did you want to speak on it, or you guys want to go for it?
We had a nice event and some nice pictures, so thought we should share them.
I would support that.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
That was the pictures from Habitat.
Yes.
Yes.
Those were nice.
There's a nice one of you and Helen in there.
Well, because of Kim sitting right over there, our cities, if I may, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Our city should be very proud that we support Habitat, and we have, now goes to how many homes now, Kim? How many homes? 15? 15 homes. A city our size in the country, I don't know if they've done any better than that. So we can be, everybody can be very proud that we've stepped up to support Habitat. I love Habitat. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you. Next item is the 2021 annual report from the planning.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor.
Oh, we didn't, I'm sorry. We keep stopping and going and stopping and going. I believe we have motion and support. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
The next item is the 2021 annual report from the Planning Commission. Council?
Madam Mayor, I would move to receive and file the 2021 annual report from the Planning Commission.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
The next item is the annual report for Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission 2021. Council?
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to receive and file the 2021 annual report from the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes, Councilman Baker, I thought it was my turn when she came from over here.
Next item is the annual report for Civil Service Commission. Council?
Move to receive and file and report for the Civil Service Commission 2021.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Next item is Donald Street Water Main Replacement Project Summary Report. Council?
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to receive and file the Donald Street Water Main Replacement Project Summary Report.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. Next item is the 2021 Water Main Replacement Program Project Summary Report.
Mayor, I move that we'll receive and file the 2021 Water Main Replacement Program Project Summary Report.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. Next item is the Topher Drive Reconstruction Project Summary Program.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion we receive and file the Topher Drive Reconstruction Project Summary Reports.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Now payroll and bills.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to pay the bills in the amount of $4,015,153.48.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Next is hearing of the public. This is the second hearing of the public. If you'd like to step up and speak at this time, you have an additional 3 minutes.
Hi, Cindy Federley again. I'm a little bit confused about the grants that were received. You were not a member of the organization, and yet we received, you said $20,000, but I heard of $10,000 and $5,000, and I don't know where the other $5,000 came from. So if you could clarify that, I'd appreciate it. And the other thing is, I was completely caught off guard when I was interrupted when I spoke earlier. I'm not going to address anybody in particular, but at the prior hearing of the public at the prior city council meeting, there was a resident that spoke twice, and all she did was talk about one particular person. So if I'm going to be interrupted, I am grateful that you're taking the parliamentary procedure training, because perhaps all residents will be treated equal. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to speak?
Hello, Sheila Ulinsky. Madam Mayor, I'm sorry, I'm kind of addressing you because you brought it up about the education for the residents, for the grants, or for the memberships, which I think is a fabulous idea. I think if they had something maybe on the city page with the, what we get for the buck and the grants that were able to be retrieved from being in those memberships, and maybe how they decipher what cities get how much. You know, do they do it by size of the city and, you know, the tier effect? So that's just an idea I have, but yes, education on that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to speak at this time?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
First, I want to say I'm in support of this membership for the mayor, because I believe that it will bring more grants. And how could you not have someone as being involved in trying to bring more money to the city? So I'm in favor of her getting the grants, getting the membership. That's it.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak at this time? Seeing none, the second hearing of the public is now closed. We're going straight to our mayor and council reports. We're going to start with Councilman Curley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple things. If you want to put this under housekeeping, we're not wearing our mask anymore. We're not required anyway. For me, I think it's time for the city manager and the city attorney to come back up here. They're called on quite a bit during the meeting. Their statements are extremely important for our city. And we don't, at this point in time, I don't think we need to be 10 feet apart. So that's just a suggestion. You can do what you want, but I think it's time for them to get back up here. Secondly, most of you probably noticed the sunflower that I brought in tonight. And the sunflower is Ukraine's national flower. They've been growing sunflowers for many, many, many decades. And I wanted to bring that here. The sunflower, by the way, stands for adoration, loyalty, and longevity. And I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. As we speak, little babies and young people are being murdered. The entire country is being totally devastated, and there doesn't seem to be any ending to it. So however you reach God in your own way, I would encourage each of us in our own way to ask for peace, that no one will be killed on either side, and that somehow peace can be found, and that people can, I don't know if they can go back to their normal life anymore. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take generations to even rebuild the country, isn't it? And I, for one, citizen of America, I'm ready to give somebody a blank check and have them get it done. That's it, ma'am.
Thank you. Councilman Baker?
Thank you. Earlier this month, since we were talking about reading month and everything, and the mayor told you I do this word of the day. It's a true thing. But I had the privilege of reading to the children of Forest Park Elementary School. I got to read to kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. And I also got to talk to them about leadership, but it was from in regards to the teacher in the classroom and them following her instructions, listening to her, following where she's guiding them. And when they learn what she is teaching them, they can then teach someone else, and they themselves can now become good leaders. And this is just about cultivating the right way of thinking and promoting good behavior, good practices. And they all assured me that if I asked their teachers if they've been following the leader, that they would say yes, and that they've been behaving. So we'll see on that. And just keeping with what the mayor said about my word of the day, I may have used it before, but it's a good one. My word was ataraxia, was my word. And that is just calm that is unbothered by mental or emotional disquiet. That's it. Good night.
Okay, thank you. Councilman DeMonico?
All right, thanks, Mayor. First, I guess I'd like to start with, trying to repeat Mr. Baker's word of the day. No, I'm kidding.
Adirondack, I think I was.
Adirondack, is that what you said? The Habitat for Humanity event was really nice. I thought what was cool was that the director, Helen Hicks, had everybody at the event go around and kind of just give a couple words on what they thought was special, basically, about what either Habitat does or the specific property or whatnot, because there were all kinds of different people there in addition to city representatives. But to me, I think the one thing that someone hadn't already said was that it helps the local neighborhood there when there's a house that maybe was in disarray for a long time and is now better. I think that's what we all hope with buying the tax reverted properties and just any properties that we're handing over to Habitat or Community Housing Network or any other group that does the similar thing. So it was nice to see that. Glad we were able to do that, and it kind of felt like one of the first normal events been to in quite some time. Not masking up and kind of checking that out. So that was good. Everyone put on your calendar for tomorrow. The Beautification Commission's doing their landscape awards at 7 p.m. right in this very location. So hopefully you can make it out to that. And then just wanted to talk about MML for a second. I did go to the Capitol Conference Tuesday and Wednesday last week, and they talked about quite a few different things, like usual. I went to the first session that was called the Michigan Water Navigator Help Desk, and that's for sure going to be more helpful to plenty of people in city administration, but it's supposed to help with finding state and federal funding. There's just so much going on, and there's additional money going in because of all the lead service lines that still exist, and just money from the state budget that will help with infrastructure just across the state. So So hopefully we can get the biggest share possible out of all that. I know AEW's good at doing that, so learned a bit more about that. They talk about a lot of legislative updates. So we, like Mr. Blum said, hopefully the pension bill does go through $1.5 billion. The MML's lobbyist was just like floored. He got a call just in the morning, like, oh, the legislature's gonna put $1.5 billion into pensions across the state, and I think his first thought was probably like $1.5 million. He's like, no, with a B. He said that was probably one of the most surprising calls he's ever got. So hopefully it goes through, and it's not just a surprising call that doesn't go anywhere. Talked about just the ARPA funds, the COVID funding that's come to all the municipalities. It's a lot of money, compared to our neighbors. I think we got to look at this CDBG formula, because a lot of our neighbors are getting way more money than we are. But I'm happy to see we're getting like 3.33 million, I think is what it comes out to, that we'll be able to spend on various projects in the city. And we've got some time to, put together our priorities on that. Then they had a cool session. I thought that they had this company called Braver Angels come out, and it was basically this company that kind of comes out and has this community conversation and tries to reduce polarization. Of course, we've got, a lot of that, I think, in society now. So it was interesting to kind of hear their take on that. It's a group of the company's Democrats and Republicans, and make sure that they're even, to then try and hopefully have, good conversations just across, wherever they're called to, and someone brings them. Some of those were the interesting things. There was one where they do this community capital session, which made me think of what the disc golfers were trying to do here. You can pool some money, and the MEDC will meet you halfway. I don't know what the exact rules are, but maybe we can come up with something. They use this website called Patronicity. Berkeley's doing one. I was sitting with a few council members at the Berkeley table, and they're basically crowdsourcing money for a park. So I know that the disc golfers were looking for sponsors. I don't remember where that project's at, but that was just one example. It made me think of, maybe they can get half their money via the MEDC, or if anyone's got any other idea they're gonna do it.
They already did it.
Oh, they already, yeah, we already installed all those pads. I guess I haven't disc golfed since then, so. I'm sure they've got other ideas.
I'm sure they do.
Then I went to an environmental session too. Always good to hear what's going on there. But yeah, like normal, there's my MML update, Mayor. And just want to say good luck to Judge Ketanji Brown-Jackson in front of having her hearings to potentially be our next Supreme Court Justice. And then last, about Ukraine, everyone keep Ukraine in your thoughts. Definitely a horrific situation, as Councilman Curley has already said. So just, yeah, keep all of them in your thoughts. Hopefully that ends ASAP. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, I would like to start out by recognizing a woman from Juliana that came out to speak. So I did drive by that 8-mile location because I've been hearing things. So I'm happy that the city is keeping on top of that, because it does look horrific. And I understand, and I do apologize and do feel bad for the residents. I'm happy that administration is staying on top of it, so hopefully we can get that taken care of for you. Secondly, the Easter Bunny will be coming to the Oddfellows Hall on Sunday, April 10th from 9 to 11 a.m. It's $7 a person. Kids 4 and under are free. There's going to be breakfast is included, and then you get pictures with the Easter Bunny. So if anyone's interested, they're more than welcome to attend that. I did have a Memorial Day parade meeting yesterday. I'm hoping to have event application in front of council at our next council meeting, so we can move forward with the planning of the parade. And just lastly, I just want to remind everyone to keep the Ukraine, all of the residents in the Ukraine, in your thoughts and your prayers. It's horrific what's going on over there. Like Councilman DeMonico said, hopefully it ends very soon. And that's all I have this evening, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, all the council. Thank you, Mr. Dan Zander, for doing the prayer. That was awesome. Keep coming. We appreciate that. I want to make sure I acknowledge my First Lady, Shanita Lloyd. Also, she's also on the beautification. She's a new member, and my Bishop, Eric Lloyd, for coming out after a prayer every Tuesday if they can. Also, I want to thank everybody in the audience for coming out with your ideas, opinions, and also to the new people that came for the first time. Thank you. It wasn't that bad, was it? And also, young lady back there, thank you for, it's some things that you just talked about we're actually working on, being proactive. So I want to get it together, and I ask for your information because I want you to be a part of that. How does that sound? Okay, great. So I also want to talk about the Boys and Girls Club. We were going to do the March 24th this week and do a demo, but we're going to do it in April. We didn't have enough people signing up, so we're going to do better promoting on that. So they got a grant with our congressman that is shared with the Boys and Girls Club in Mount Clemens. I believe they gave us to share $250,000, so I'm happy about that. So we can get that on and going for the summer. So work really hard on getting the Boys and Girls Club here, and so when you work hard on something, you see it manifest, and now it's here. The Chamber of Commerce, we have a lot of events at the Chamber of Commerce. If you have a business in the city of Eastpointe, I urge you to join the Chamber of Commerce. They give out grants and different things for businesses, and also training classes. And also, March is Reading Month. We talked about that, and all of you know that I have my book out called Mom Was the Mayor. And it went excellent at the Eastpointe Library. So many people came out. The mayor from Southfield came out, council members from all over, and I thank them for supporting me, and also some of you out there for coming as well. It was a phenomenal space to be in, and the kids were excited. I think they were more excited to get the gavel than the book, but I love that they both had 2 and 2 together so that they can learn. Also, the bike club this year, I'm going to start that again. So anybody that got their bikes and ready to go roll with the mayor, let me know. Send me an email. We have some of my bike club members in the audience. It's a lot of people that thought it was a good idea last year, and we're inviting you to come out this year to do that as well. And also, I want to let you know that Dedicated Senior Company, that's right there on Kelly, they do give out fruits and vegetables for free to the public. So if you are short on fruits and vegetables, let them know. If you go on their website, you can find out. They're really been adamant and active in the community since they've been here. So also with the Wyland Foundation, I know you all said bring it back up in April. The Wyland Foundation is a foundation that talks about the environment, and they always contact the mayors of each city to have their communities a part of that. And what that looks like is if you win the most residents that, I think that, what is it, city manager, if they submit that they are saving water or something like that, they submit something, we get the most residents that submit something of how they're saving water, that the city of Eastpointe can win $10,000 to $50,000 to help residents on their water bills. And also, a brand new car will be given to a local charity in the city of Eastpointe. So I know we talked about putting that on our website so that we can get that funding as well. And also, I want to add on here, I know a lot of people talked about the memberships that were on here previously that I want to be a part of. I'm also a realtor, if some people didn't know, so I'm a part of the GMAR membership. And in that membership, we were able to apply based off me being a member and paying my own fees with my own money. We were able to get an almost $2,000 grant that went into what area? The Children's Garden. So also, again, me being a part of the mayor's innovation, we got up to $20,000. And so I said that to say when we are part of memberships and things like that, we get grant money being a part of that membership. Just like we are members of the MML, we are members of SIMCOG, we're members of the 8 Mile Association, in which me and the team also went for a grant to get $50,000. And also Michigan Association of Mayors, and we're also members of Chamber of Commerce. So these are memberships that we've been in since the 1990s. It's time for us to change and get into different memberships where people are growing, they're innovative, and things like that. And we're staying stagnant, and we don't have money because we're staying in the same realm. And so if you look into those different things and go on the website and look at the United States Conference of Mayors, those are mayors that are sending out grants and information all the way up to the President of the United States. They're getting that information. And the guy who's the head of that, he lives in Washington, D.C. So that is where they get the money from, is D.C. So if that person is coming from the head and bringing it down to the tail, we get some of that money. So we're not part of that conversation, or you don't have someone in your community that's at the table, we don't know about that information. And that is why I want to be a part of that United States Conference of Mayors. Also, with the Mayor's Innovation, No, they didn't charge me. A lot of memberships give you complimentary or introductory memberships to see how it works. We paid nothing, and I was able to get us almost $20,000, and the membership is only $1,500. So we get our money back, and with the United States Conference of Mayors, like I said, you can get up to $200,000 in every category. Police, if the police need more guns, if the police need bulletproof vests, if we want to get our streets fixed, those are funds. If you put in $3,000 for almost $200,000, I want you all to do that math. Also, with the African American Conference of Mayors, I am African American. Why wouldn't I want to have those conversations with other African Americans and seeing what they're doing to better serve their community? It just makes sense. And so in order for us to move forward in this community, we can't do the same thing every single year. I love that we are part of these programs, but these programs, everybody are competing in the state of Michigan for these same programs when other people outside of the United States are having different programs that we can get. And they go up to different communities like you asked us. Sometimes a community up to 50,000. Everybody has their own category, and they can win money. So as your mayor, I know you stated earlier, there's no weak form of mayor. That's probably what you studied in the history for whatever you want to say, but I don't call myself that. I'm a strong mayor, and I do things that other mayors don't do. So if you Google me and you understand, or sit down and talk to me at my office or in here, or email me, we can have a personal sit down, and I'll let you know a lot of things I did for the city of Eastpointe, even before I was the council. So also, going back to a member in the audience, you said addressing in respect. As a title, my kids called me Mom. That's my title. They don't call me Monique. The residents elected me as the mayor of Eastpointe. It says mayor on the ballot. When you see a bishop, you see my first lady, that's their title. Even on an application, it asks you what's your title, Miss, Mrs., or Mr. So you address me as I ask you, is respect. That's all I ask. And in this community, we talk about respect. That is all we talk about, is respect. That's easy. Some of you are old enough, we shouldn't have these conversations anymore, and I don't want to bring it back up. Respect is respect, whether my name is Monique, or if I tell you to call me Miss Owens, or some of you, I only allow my friends to call me Monique. That's it. In a formal setting like this, it's Mayor Owens. Outside of it, if I want you to call me Mayor Owens, it's up to you, but I don't answer to anything you call me. I'm an adult, and I'm a human being, and I'm a mom. That's my title to my children. And to the residents of Eastpointe, mayor is what they elected me to be. So you get to choose what you think you should call me, but I'm not going to answer to that. Just like I'm going to call you Miss, or whatever you ask me to call you. It's called respect. And once we learn how to respect each other up here, all the way down there, it doesn't matter. I respect people no matter what title they have. But a sergeant, when he becomes a lieutenant, does not want to be called sergeant again. Am I right, deputy? Once he became the chief, we call him chief. And that's what I would call him. When he became the director, I call him director. That's their title. They earned it. Just like I earned it when I got all my ballots and I walked this whole city twice. And I don't have to prove that to anybody. The proof was in the election, okay? So we're going to continue to respect each other in here, because when I see you out there, I'm going to still respect you. My title has nothing to do with respect, because I'm going to respect you whether I'm the mayor or not. It's called respect. And I'm sorry that we have to keep talking about this in this city. This city already has a bad history. Why are we continuing? How are we going to move forward if we continue to be nasty to each other? How? And some of you have been here longer than I have. And some of you know the past history, but how do we move forward if we continuously disrespect each other? And as the mayor of the city of Eastpointe, I always respect others. And that will be my legacy, is respect, integrity. And that will go with me forever. So I said that to say, I thank everybody for being here. If you want to know, if you want to sit and talk with me, you email me. If you can't get with me, get with our city manager. She knows how to get with me any time of the day. And I'll sit and talk with you. If you have concerns, if you have questions, if you don't like something I'm doing, you can talk to me. But to come in front of an audience and try to publicly humiliate a human being, title doesn't have anything with a human, because I have feelings too. Y'all have to remember that. I have feelings too, just like you have feelings. When I became the mayor of Eastpointe, I didn't stop having feelings, okay? So when you want to ask me a question, you're open. My office is always open. Send me an email. If you don't like something the mayor's doing, call me. Let's talk about it. There's no problem with that. And tell me your ideas. And let's work on it together. That's the type of mayor I am. So I said that to say I want to, again, thank you all for coming out. And we are going to adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember
Yes.
Curley. Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.